Yeah. All I need is one mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of One Mic where I watch shit so you don't have to. And today I'm here to talk about the new Warner Brothers / New Line Cinema film Mortal Kombat, which you can find on HBO Max and in theaters. It's only going to be on HBO Max for a month, so if you don't catch it on HBO Max by May 23rd, you're going to have to head over to the theaters to check it out. And I'm here to tell you to not waste your fucking money. Do not go see this movie. It is terrible. This movie is so bad. I mean, there's nothing redeemable about this movie. I'm bullshit you not. There is not a single reason for you to see this movie. Not one. The only reason I watched it is because I look at video game movies based on video games. They're always bad. There's no reason for me to watch these movies. And I don't. And I had no intention of watching this one. Then I saw the Red Band trailer for it, and it had some really cool looking scenes in it, had some F-bombs. I'm like, okay, maybe this movie's gonna be all right. Oh my God. Okay. Let me just start. The writing, terrible. The dialogue between the characters, the things they say, the plot, everything that was put to paper is terrible. Just terrible. The acting is terrible. Sonya Blade, terrible. Kung Lao, terrible. Liu Kang, terrible. Kano, terrible times 2. Most of this cast is awful. Kano is giving you trying to have a comedic presence, but almost every single joke falls flat, and everything sounds like he doesn't say anything racist, but everything has almost a racist inflection, if that makes sense. It sounds like he's gonna say something racist at any moment. And he does kind of touch on a little bit of racism when he's talking to Kung Lao, but yeah, he's giving me heavy I'm a trucker at the Trump rally, and Trump's gonna take care of me, and when in reality Trump doesn't give a fuck about you because you're poor. He's giving me that kind of vibe. I mean, man, this guy he's bad. Everybody's bad in this movie though. What else is shitty? So part of the reason I stuck with this movie, because I wanted to turn it off probably about halfway through. I'm like, okay, this is not going well. What made me finish the movie is that I was hoping that there would be a final battle between Sub-Zero and Scorpion that would be worth hanging around for. Because in the trailer, there's a really cool scene where Sub-Zero cuts Scorpion, and then blood splatters, and then he freezes that blood into a knife and stabs him with that. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's a creative move to make. So I'm like, that told me, just the nature of that scene in the trailer told me that was probably going to be the main fight at the end of the movie. So I'm like, if that's what they're giving me, this fight's going to kick ass. So I'm like, let me hang around for this. That was the best part of the fight. They put it in the trailer. As a matter of fact, the only good thing about this movie is that there are a couple of good kills, and most of those moments are in the trailer. Kung Lao gets a good kill that I don't believe is in the trailer, so that's cool. Jax gets a good kill that you don't see it in the trailer, but you see the start of it. And it ends just as it looks like it would end in the trailer. That is one of the other good moments. And then the scene that I just talked about where Sub-Zero froze the blood. That was it. That was it. And you have to sit through this movie's it has an hour and 50-minute runtime with maybe about, I think maybe 10 to 12 of those minutes being credits. So you're looking at, we'll just say, an hour and 40 minutes of movie. You want to sit through an hour and 40 minutes of a terrible movie to see those 3 things, 2 of which, 1.5 you kind of see in the trailer? I was thinking okay, this movie, as it's starting, I'm like, okay, this is pretty bad, but I'm like, as long as it's giving me enough action and enough over-the-top violence, I'll probably stick with it. And I may even come on here and give it a thumbs up if it does the action sequence and the violence is right. I'll sit here all day and be like, the dialogue's terrible, the plot is terrible, the acting is terrible, but man, there's some fight scenes in this shit. I will sit here and do that. But they didn't give me enough fight scenes to make it worth my while, and the ones that they gave me were just okay. There wasn't anything that was really super cool. So even if they had paid that, even if what they gave me was super cool, it didn't happen enough. It's like you got like 80% of the movie is garbage, and then like 20% of it is just okay. Like, so it's that's not worth sitting through. I'm sorry. So like, yeah, there's nothing good about this movie. I'd say the only thing, there's two things that I thought were decent. Anytime Sub-Zero shows up, it's fucking cool. So I will give the movie that. They did really good with Sub-Zero, and they did good with like the environment whenever Sub-Zero shows up, because it'll start to get cold. You might see some snow, you might see some ice forming, and when that happened in the beginning, you're like, oh, this is probably Sub-Zero. This is probably gonna be pretty cool, and it was. Like, I will give the movie that as well. The opening scene is pretty good, but um you figure like, oh, it's probably Sub-Zero, and the opening scene is good because that's the first time we see Sub-Zero, and then that helps the movie, because anytime you start to see ice forming, you go, oh, Sub-Zero, and then you also know something probably pretty cool is going to happen, and that does pay off pretty much every time you see Sub-Zero. You get something pretty cool, so I'll give it that. I don't know how to pronounce his name, Mikad Brooks. I know him from, he was on The Game, that show that was on BT a while back. I don't know if he's still on Supergirl, but he was on Supergirl. He's been that. I feel like he played Cyborg in something. I don't know what though. Or maybe he voiced Cyborg in something. I don't know. I might be tripping though, but yeah, he's in this. He's serviceable. He's not, he's not terrible or anything like that. He's good for this movie. He doesn't have very many scenes. He plays Jax. He has some scenes early on that are pretty good, and then he has some scenes toward the end that are pretty good. But he's solid. The movie started off okay, but yeah, it gets. I'd say it gets bad once they introduce Sonya and Kano, and it continues to worsen from that point on. And that happens about 10 minutes into the movie, by the way. So, yeah, it's irredeemable. There's nothing good about this movie. Please do not watch this. I can't think of anything that I could say like, well, this one scene is worth seeing. Like, there's no scene in this movie that's worth seeing. Like, the big fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero at the end was like, okay, like it was not what I thought it was going to be. And like I said, the coolest part of it was the part that they put in the trailer. And as usual, when you have a really shitty movie, the best parts are always in the trailer. And that's what happened here. There is nothing in this movie other than the Kung Lao kill that's worth seeing that wasn't in the trailer. So Google the Kung Lao kill, watch that or some shit if you can on YouTube, but don't waste nearly 2 hours with this garbage. I mean, this is a bad movie. B-movie vibes. Like, I mean, this is pure shit. Do not watch this movie. This is the easiest video I've ever had to make. Like, this movie's fucking awful. So, if you were thinking about like, yo, let me get a drink, let me get some popcorn, let me get high, whatever it is you want to do on your Friday night that you think is going to be complimented by watching this movie, it will fuck up your high. It will fuck up your buzz. Like, this movie is awful. You know what, and the last thing I'm going to say is the problem with the reason why this movie fails is because it's so bad and so dumb that I feel, from my perspective, I feel like only a child would appreciate this. If you're an adult or a teenager, you're gonna be like, this shit is so fucking stupid. Like, I don't even know what this is. So only, like, I feel like you have to be of a certain very young age to be like, oh, this is good. Like, oh, I'm enjoying this. But it's so over the top with violence and gore and F-bombs that it's not for kids. So kids aren't gonna watch it. So like the only demographic that I could see liking this movie is too young to see it. So I really can't see anybody watching this movie and thinking, man, that was worth my time, or God forbid, that was worth my money. Like, man, if I paid to see this in theaters, oh my God, oh my goodness. I'm beside myself at how bad this movie is. Razzies across the board. It should get every Razzie that is available next year. But if by some wild stretch of the imagination you disagree and you're like, yo, that movie was fucking lit, I don't know what he's talking about, drop it in the comments and tell me what you thought was good about this movie. And hey, we can talk about it, man. I reply to every comment. So at least I try to. I don't get very many comments, so it's not a very difficult very difficult goal to meet. But You know, I try to reply to every single comment. I believe that I have done that to this date. And if you want to make a case for how this is a good movie, by all means, try. But you will not sell me. I'm not like, this is one of those things where like sometimes I'll, you know, you might get, somebody might drop a comment and then I'll go, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't consider that. That's a good. No. If you feel like you have a comment that is gonna make me go, oh wait, maybe that was kind of good. Nope, you won't. This movie's awful, awful. Don't watch it. I don't know what else to say. See you guys. Peace.